Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Timberborn Z, where we're in the middle of a drought. It's not a bad drought, it's just a drought, so it's doing droughty things. And I was going back through all of the recordings and everything, looking at some of the stuff, and it's like, yeah, we need to fix this power thing. But I was also thinking about how to fix this bad tide thing, right? So we've got this system already set up, ready to rock and roll, and we just need lumber to finish the rest of this and actually to get the beavers in there to do all that. So that shouldn't be a problem for us, theoretically. It's just a matter of getting the beavers in position to actually get over here and start working on all of that, which means actually putting them in there and telling them to do their thing, which I'm not opposed to doing, and we have the capacity to do so. I think I'm gonna pause these guys down here so that this stays a bit irrigated a bit longer, so we can see or get a little bit free irrigation out of this. I've paused the fluid dumps for now since they're peak capacity as of right now anyway, and we've only got about 7 days left of this drought available to us, so that shouldn't be that much of a problem. So we're going to use those guys, get them to actually start building for us. And by that, we are going to get down here. We're going to trek all the way back to here, and we're going to put in some sluice gates. Some sluice gates here and sluice gates here. Let the bad water go that way. Let the clean water go that way. And so when it's bad tide, it's not full of poopy water in here. When it's, when it's a temperate cycle, we can actually take advantage of the clean water, which I'm always a fan of the clean water. So we're going to work on that. Let their builders go ahead and do that. We should have plenty of lumber back in here to take advantage of. And if we want to, we can come over here and punch into that to finish the rest of this. But we've also got about 100 units of lumber available to us right now. So I'm not too concerned about the lumber problem. And this is all popped up and ready to rock and roll. And then we've got this to work with as well too. So I'm not too concerned quite yet. However, I would like to get this taken care of sooner rather than later. And we might as well take advantage of the during the drought while we've got it. So I think first we're going to focus on this. And then think about moving over here, which should not be that hard of an ask either. So let's go ahead and get into the game. We'll check things out, get things moving, and hit the play button. Yep, 3 times speed where we belong, and let's go ahead and raise this priority-wise again back to the height that we would like it to be on. And I did some experimentation. This is not required, so we can save some of this lumber back here. Just get all of this in, and that will provide enough clearance for all of the things that we needed. And with that dried out, we can actually max it. Capacity that bad Johnny, get everybody in to haul around all of the good things that are necessary for the duration of the build. And let's pull the work hours back to 18. I feel as though that's probably a smart maneuver. Now we need science for power, which we have the science for power. We don't have paper yet, which I kind of would like to get to paper sooner rather than later. I don't want to unnecessarily spend science on... Well, we can't afford this anyway, so never mind. All right, so windmills it is. We can actually pause these two since they are not doing anything for us and get them in there to work that for us. That'll be fine. Sweet. Go ahead and start working our way this way as well. This should not be a major... shouldn't be that hard, theoretically. I say that knowing I've probably somehow missed something. I don't know. It's fine. Everything's fine. And let's go ahead and put in some levees right... or a levee right here. And we'll do sluice gate. Let's do sluice gate here. And then here... and we'll have them come over and knock that out. Now, we don't want them building these out of cycle. By that I mean I don't want them blocking themselves in, so we'll do that last, I suppose. That should be the easier ask for them to accomplish theoretically. So we'll go ahead and let that rock and roll. They've already got a fair portion of this up and running too. Probably help them out a little bit by throwing in a pile or something right here. Maybe? Do that. Let's give that a priority. Let's hit the obtain button, and this is the supply button already selected. You know, we've got plenty of lumber already in hand, so that is good to see. And now that we've got the haulers moving stuff, you can actually probably tell them to prioritize this, and that will alleviate the builders in their large or long runs to and fro, which is always a smart idea when we've got an opportunity to take advantage of them. Always take advantage of the things that are available to you. Okay, not like that though, guys. Come on now. Come on. I kind of want to get up here for lumber, but again, I think we're doing just fine on the overall lumber available to us, so I'm not too concerned about that quite yet. Our haulers are moving lumber in here though, so this is good. We've already got enough logs for a levee already right here, and look at them go. See how easy that is? We shouldn't need to give this a priority bump, but I'm just gonna hit that anyway because I'd rather have that rocking and rolling too sooner rather than later. All right, probably what we should do is actually hit this button right there too. That shouldn't be that hard of an ask for them to knock out, and we can actually start doing stuff like thinking about getting into some bad water here shortly, because I like explosives. And we have the middle blocks. We don't necessarily have the science for all of this, or the power, honestly. So we might have to hold off on doing all of that. However, we can start thinking about where we're going to be doing our industry. Question is, where do we want to play with industry? I kind of want to move this away from down here. I feel like this is probably going to be a place where we put water. I want to fill this in down here with water soon. Can this go anywhere else? It can. So in theory, we could block this off, and the bad tide just goes that way, and then we could build up here, put more farming over here. That's not going to really solve our industry concerns, which we do have. That's not good to see. Still have a fair amount of irrigation though, so that's not too bad. We could probably go ahead and actually turn this back on. And I was thinking also the other day, I know, very dangerous, we should probably start planting some chestnuts over here. So all of this is irrigated, and we're not anticipating getting bad tide down here anymore. So we should be able to get chestnuts in here, which are great foodstuffs. It provides a little bit more happiness than nothing. So we'll let them go ahead and plant all of that. Tell them to not chop down our chestnuts, which we've just had planted, which is going to be that right there. I'm going to clear up this path right there and then reselect that. I think this was all. What do we have here? This is all chestnut, and this is all. Yeah. Okay. That button, that should work just fine. They're already almost done with this. We're down to 83 logs. That's not that great. Another 16 right there. About 22 available right there. So this is not going to be good for us. All right, so that means we should come over here if we want to expedite all of this. So let's go ahead and hit this button. Grab that. Hit this. Get up there. See about placing one of these lumberjack flags or two right there. Grab this path. Connect that. Give this a priority bump. Might have to... Well, they've already completed the wall, so that is good. All right. We're on the last, five more of these. We need to clear this path out. We need to get one more in right there. Can't believe I missed that. Go ahead. And that might need a priority bump, otherwise it's not going to get accomplished anytime soon because other things take priority because of time placement. So we'll get that in. That shouldn't be a problem. Probably bump this priority-wise too as well because we have some lumber there. We have one individual with nothing to do within range, two individuals with nothing to do within range. Now they do have something to do within range. I just need to tell them to actually get up here and chop it down. There we go. Now they've got stuff to chop down. That will help out lumber-wise for a minute. That is good. Our drought is officially over. And that is good to see. Now we just need them to finish this last bit right here. And that means that we can go work on the other side of the problem. And we can tell them to not bring anything up here anymore. We could honestly just tear this down. Have them come clean that up shortly. And we should probably tell our beavers to get back in here and pump some water for us. So that's going to remove our capacity for haulers for a little bit. We'll pull this down to 2. We should not need... I don't know why I put those guys in the water. That was silly of me. Shouldn't need to rush to get this side done, but I do want to get this side done before we go and work on... See, they're going to come up here and start working on this, which I don't want them to work on. I would like for them to work on other stuff. Go ahead and clean that up a little bit. 4 pumpers should be enough to keep everything moving relatively quick enough. Lumber is moving in, so that is good to see. And food is still looking fairly strong. I want to diversify. I know how to speak the English language. Diversify our foodstuffs sooner rather than later. They are already on their way over. Already started placing those in there, so that is good to see. And that is in the placement order that we did throw them in. They did finish up the campfire, so we should get a little bonus for their well-being here shortly, hopefully. Probably need to do something to increase that happiness score just a tad bit. And that can be accomplished by doing something like this. This is probably a waste of material, but it makes them happy, you know. And they will get to that. Jeez, I swear, I know how to speak the English language. We'll let them work on that. We need to turn that off. We want to close below contamination of 1%, and we want this side to close above contamination of 1%. We don't want that selected. Now, in theory, that should mean that they will do the things that we need them to do. We still have 4 beavers with... or 4 positions that are going unfilled, which is not what I want to see. And another drought. Okay, that's good. That means we don't have to start doing drastic things to get... I do want to get down here, actually. So if we get down here and put in a dam or something right there, then we can save a little bit of water here. And that should save a little bit of irrigation for a little bit longer, meaning we don't have to be solely reliant on these bad Johnnies back here, which is actually pretty good for us. We still need more beavers, so let's go ahead, toss in another lodge right there, pull this, connect that right there, return that on because we don't need all of this getting to that point. And we might actually not have this lumberjack flag. We might leave this how it is and get our tapper shack in over there. Let this just be where lumber is. I'm not opposed to that idea. This is probably empty. Let's turn that back on. That one's fine for now. This one is working, so that is good. Water is being pumped actively. How is this coming along over here? We've got one sluice gate in. What is happening with the others? I need to get up here and turn this on because we are running out of metal blocks. Just not good. We need more than 3 metal blocks to finish the rest of the sluice gate. So let's see here. I think now we focus on power. Since we do have a drought coming, that means that we could focus on power as opposed to trying to rush to get the sluice system installed or in place, which is always a good thing for us. So let's see here. I want to get this off the reliance for the water wheels. Let's see. Each one of these is 150 while it's moving. We do already have access up here, and I want to be able to very easily line that up. And that should be enough, but I'm gonna do a little bit more for future proofing. We might put in a few more pieces of stuff up here. Why won't you click? Thank you. I don't know why that was doing that. It's fine. We'll get that in, and then we will run. Do we have to unlock the vertical power shafts? What is this? What is this? That's fine. We'll grab this, grab that, like that, and that just feeds right into there, like such as, and so. Probably want to pull this one out and have that finished there before we start doing anything else up there. That'll give them something to work on, and they have so many other things to work on right now. All right, so priority bumps for things that are pertinent to our beavers' survival. First off, more beavers. We have 4 kits running around, and that's the replacement time is not the greatest. Also, why didn't they finish this one? Finish this one, guys, please. Okay, this is out of power, so you don't need to be sitting there working. We are completely out of haulers, so that's no bueno. Let's see, where else can we snag bodies from? Science, I think we can pause on for a little bit. We can pull you out of there, though, since that is full, and we can do the same down here because that is full. It's a 12-day drought. We should have more than enough water available to us to meet the demand there. Push comes to shove. We'll dip into this, which is available to us. And see, still out of haulers. We do have science moving. Question is, which one is a higher priority, science or haulers? Our industry is not really large enough to really demand haulers quite yet, so I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, well, let's go ahead, rip that out. We're going to put one more piece of pine right there, rip out the rest of this path, put in some more pine right here, turn this on real quick, let Patman here throw in those last few pine trees for us. We will rip this out right here. We haven't even touched it yet. And once those 4 are in, we can go ahead and tear that down. Place in our tapper shack, which is this button right here. Like that. And that's plenty of sap for all of my friends, which is good. And then we watch for these maple or chestnut trees. So chestnut trees are cool, but it takes them 1.5 years to reach maturity, and then another 8 days to start producing chestnuts. But they produce a fair amount of chestnuts every 8 days, so that's good. And push comes to shove, you can rip them apart and get 8 logs out of the whole deal. So that's actually pretty good return on investment. So I'm not upset by that in any way, fashion, shape, or form. That is cool. So let's see here. Carrots we're doing fine on. Potatoes we're doing fine on. At least grilled potatoes. Then we have regular potatoes as well. Probably could expand a little bit of the sunflower seed production. Probably tear out a few of the carrots right here and replace that with sunflower seeds. They regrow fast enough that I'm not too concerned about that right now. They did get a fair portion of this done right here, so all of the planks are in. That is good. We just need the metal blocks, which means that we need to get up and start working on other stuff. I'm okay with them working on that, but I would like them to get up here and start working on this. Let's see. Let's see. We have 5 beds available. We should get a plus up in population here shortly, which will be beneficial to us. I can start tearing these out to get some lumber back, which I'm not opposed to doing because that's just taking up real estate. The problem is we don't necessarily have the gears or the planks to continue working that. We can get planks back on again though with Timetell and Mavry in here doing some plankage for us for the next couple of days, which is not going to be a bad use of their time because that will prepare us for the excessive amount of lumber required for all of this up here, which is a good thing. And they have already started coming down here and placing some in there. I would like to give this a plus up so I can get that installed. Honestly, I don't think we need this. It'll be nice to have when there's a bad tide running through, so I think we'll let them finish planting or placing that. These 2 did not get reinstalled, so let's go ahead and get that in right there. See, where can we find a couple bodies? I've only got the 1 hauler, and that's 2 in there. Don't really want to pull down from this side, but I will pull down from the planting side since we seem to be keeping up the demand there as far as planting. This seems to be actually a pretty good amount of real estate for the 2 farmhouses to work actively. Not many in the way of foodstuffs are not being picked. We've got a few back here, which... And the one that is backfilling all the places that have been picked is actually keeping up with demand pretty well there. So that's a good balance. This is a good size. I'm happy with how that's all working out down there. I'm not happy with the fact that the kits have been born, but they're still being babies. Okay. All right. Hobo Space Cat's about to grow up, so that's good. And then, hey, look, it's me again. I grew up. Woo! That's a lie. I did not grow up. I never grew up. I'm still a kid at heart. I'm kidding. All right. Let's see here. So those guys should have gone right into hauling, which is fine. This is still waiting on lumber to get moving again, and that is obnoxious. Let's see here. Can I pause you, zombie time, for a little bit? Let's pause you 2, because these 2 should be in, and that's where we'll get a fair amount of lumber for now. Let's get the additional builders in there, and let's start doing some finagling with this right here. So get logs up here and get planks. So we'll give this a priority bump, and that should help a tad bit, theoretically, get all this built. We're going to need to path back in over here so that they can reach all of that. And did they build this? They did build that power shaft. That's good. We're waiting on the last log now. Probably... Yeah, that's fine. And that is nowhere near being completed. 5 days left, 712 units of water available to us. That's pretty good. Cheap stuff is popping up here, so we will have lumber available to us when we need to. Apparently, I have a guy right here. Bank, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, you're passively gaining us lumber, so I will call that a win. Okay, so that is in. Let's get this prioritized to obtain for these guys. So the planks will be produced. They'll move up here, which would be quite nice. Dang, one hauler gets stuff moved up pretty quickly. That's pretty Gucci. And go ahead and drop this stuff priority-wise. It's a unnecessary use of our planks and logs for now, though it's not. It doesn't take them too long to do that stuff. All right, so we do have our water wheel in, so that is good to see. Now we can actually reattach that Bad Johnny right there. And theoretically, they should have access to everything as long as they don't block themselves in anywhere unnecessarily. Which I have seen happen before, and I would like to avoid that. However, there's not much I can do about that. Now, this is going to be POSXed for a hot minute until we can get some of this finalized. And of course, we're going to be solely reliant on the windmills to do windmill things. Which begs the question. Do we start thinking about batteries? I'm thinking about them, but I'm also looking at the price list, or the shopping list required. 40 planks, 40 gears, and 10 metal blocks. Oh my. Now, we do have a nice place for the batteries to drop from up here, right? It's a nice piece of real estate right there for us to work with, but I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. We could come over here and do something, but then I'd have to run power all the way around, and that'd just be ridiculous and such a huge pain in the booty. I'm not quite ready for that level of commitment yet. All that is waiting for metal blocks, as I noted before, and we do have our first windmill in. Windmills are moving, and they're grooving, and I love to see it. Okay. That's a lot of lumber over there. I would like to get over there to take advantage of that. We're not really in a rush to, so I'm not gonna rush to go do that, honestly. I should just go ahead and pump this out real quick and turn this on, because that's gonna cause some problems for us. Might as well take advantage of what little water is available for them to pump out, and now they're bored. Okay then. Well, another thing, like I said, let's go ahead and get in a dam right there. Yeah, we don't want it to be too high, because it'll just flood everything back here. And we're not ready for floodage of the entire area quite yet. Grab this. And then that should bring us right there. Connect that right now. Tear that out right now. That'll be great. That'll be huge. And that's a lot of science to unlock that. Okay, so let's think about science stuff then. 1,000 for the observatory. This does require 200 horsepower, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that much. Kind of want to put it somewhere where it's out of the way, but also close enough that they're not having to run halfway across the world to do the things. So let us maybe do something like this. Want to line that up with that, Bad Johnny. I'm burning through planks like no one's business, which I'm not a fan of. But this will be nice for making the walk to and fro a little bit easier for them. All right, now we do have 3, 4 of them installed. Heck yeah, let's go. So let's go ahead and tell them to connect that one there. Connect all of this. That will let us put the connection in right here, so we can actually start closing the loop on this whole windmill farm, or baby windmill farm? Yes, definitely a baby windmill farm. Yes, I'll allow it. I'll accept it. Of course, The joys of windmills is these stop doing this, the blowy thing after a couple hours each day, which is obnoxious. So obnoxious. Alright, now I'm concerned. I thought that we'd be a bit further along with the power supply and have this up and running by now. But alas, we do not. But now we do have the water wheel in, so this should meet the demand for all of the power requirements once this starts pumping out the bad juice all over our water wheel, which is a good thing. All right, we'll let that do its thing there. We do need to unpause all of this and get our water moving again. We probably don't need all 6 up and running, but I do like having that. I do need that turned on because that's not good. Oh no, we lost all of our potatoes. We lost our potatoes and that's entirely on me. All right, or sunflower seeds in there. Where can we pause? All right, we're going to pause science for a second. We're at 1,000 units of science, which is more than enough for what we have planned next. All right, cool. That's in. That's installed. There we go. This is all connected now. So now we're at 3,700 or 370 out of 200 required there. That's more than meeting the demand for our system here, and that means we could do some little bit of expansion here. What do we want to expand to, though? That is the question. We could do a paper mill up here. I really don't want to put industry up here. I put this here just because it's out of the way. The smelter is a large piece of equipment, and it's right next to the large pile of the ruins, which is nice, right? Have it easily accessible. You don't have to run 5 miles to get the stuff. We don't have to be heavily reliant on haulers to move everything because we still haven't quite reached the point where our population meets the demand signal for all of the jobs that we have currently. Now, that is partially due to the fact that I haven't expanded it to the point where it does meet the demand signal because I am gun shy about that. So, let's rectify that by doing this and giving this a priority bump. And we do have this side done. That's good. And we do need this side to finish. That also needs metal blocks to go. Now, how long does it take for a metal block to be produced? 1 every 2 hours, allegedly. We are encroaching upon the end of day 3, so in theory we should be able to produce enough material to finish building these last. Yeah. All right. I kind of want this to be finished, so I'm going to put this one down, this one at the same level that it was at before. Probably pause these two so we can get some more builders in, and I want to keep the same amount of haulers going. Now they should be able to get over here, finish placing that in. We can go ahead and put in this last levee right here, and we can give that the same priority requirement as the other stuff. Now we just need 3 more metal blocks for that one and 5 more, so 8. Mathing in public, yes, 8 more metal blocks. We have 1 on hand. 1's probably already out being hauled right now, and that means things are getting done. Now, Vanix is rocking and rolling, doing Vanix things, which is always quite helpful. Thank you, Vanix, for your patronage. And we do need to unpause one of these because we're running out of scrap metal. And by that, I mean we're running out of scrap metal. Not good. All right. It looks like they dropped the requirement for logs for this, so that is good to see. We are pumping out the juice as fast as we can. this should theoretically meet the demand for our beaver population at this point. So I'm not going to push too hard to add more pumpers, but I kind of do because I like to have this as full as possible, but I also like to have this finalized, which they are actively working on, as this is waiting on the metal blocks to get accomplished or finished. Looks like we're gonna have a pretty long temper cycle though, which is glorious to see. That means that we should get this finished before the next drought and or bad tide, which would be quite beneficial, especially since we just plussed up our... There's the bad tide. So I need this finished yesterday, which it is nearing completion. Come on, this is now an emergency, guys. It's an emergency. We have the lumber. We have the stuff. Just get over there and slap it in, you know, just slap hands. Run by, slap hands. That is good. So all the clean water's going this way. All of that's going that way. They haven't touched any of this over here yet. It's too far from the district. What do you mean it's too far from the district? Huh? What do you mean it's too far from the district? They not build the staircase? No, they have not. Okay, that's fine. That is not pressing. This is pressing because I don't want that coming down here. Let's do a final check on all this, which it does appear as though that is good. That should be fine. I would like to have put in maybe one more right there. We should be okay. Should be okay. One last check on this. Ooh, that could have been bad. Okay, close below contamination of 1. No, close above contamination of 1. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. Okay. Yeah. This one is already set. Close above contamination of 1% and close below contamination of 1%. So when this happens, that'll swap over. And that'll be good. That'll be good. Now, what we could do is... Now, we can't really do too much about that, honestly, at this point. Yeah. Well, we could levy this off. We could get an extra tier of water stored back here and do the same in here. A fair portion of water available to us right there. Now, for now, we could probably not do that because we don't have the lumber and or the gears to do that. Look at that. We have chestnut trees. Now, we do have another couple of days before all of that reaches maturity, though, so we're going to have to hold off on actually taking advantage of those, which probably brings me back to, let's see about building another one of these grills. Grills are yummy. Okay, they've got that. They've got this. Probably want to get over here and just build that in, because that's just going to catch water forever. I don't think they can actually reach it if I were to put this in right here. They can. Okay. Cool. That's in, so that is great. That's already got another 95 units of water in there. Go ahead and hit this button right there. We have a tapper shack. Aha! All right. Okay. Let's check it out now. Good. It works as advertised. Yes. We are bad tide proof. Bad tide proof, I say. I will call that a win. Oh my. So what we can do is get up here and set up a series of water wheels maybe at some point. We force this out this way and then have it go that way. But yeah, we are bad tide proof now, officially, and I love to see it. These guys can continue to pump out what's left of the water in here, so that's honestly not that much, actually. I don't like how that does that. I don't know why it slams shut and it just causes a shockwave of water down the entirety of the little rivulet, if you will, which in turn pushes it over the top of the dam, which in turn causes it to be empty. Look, this should not be this low at the beginning of the bad tide. It's okay because we've got these guys working. Get Hobo in there to actually replant all of this stuff. So that's probably oh no, that's on me, guys. I'm sorry. All right, you guys go do other things with your lives. Okay, 1,000 units of water. That is Gucci. That is grand. Can't believe I let all of that expire like that. It's been sat there for a couple days, so that's on me. Okay, so we need to expand food storage. We need to expand power production. We can actually start moving this power down elsewhere. We could do some sort of smaller industry up here, since we do have power right here. That's pretty easily accessible. And I should probably think about constricting some of this bad tide down a little bit. Or, yeah, this bad water down to this double wide right here, which would give us a tad bit more juice through there, which would reduce our requirements for probably 2 water wheels, but don't. It'll make do. We'll make do with what we've got. Let's go ahead and do something like that, and then we can run the power across there. Then dump the power in back in here, and we can... How much are we producing total? Well, none of this has been connected yet, so not much. Well, there we go. Now they're connecting it. Finally, there we go. That's going in, so that is good to see. And now we can take advantage of this last one right here. There we go. Let's give that a priority bump so that's not waiting 5 years for all that to get accomplished. We can remove the downgrade on the priority for that. This is already in, so that is good to see. So that has reduced our transit time substantially. And now I would like to start thinking about expanding our lumber production capacity. I also need to... Okay, so a couple of things. First off, let's go ahead and unlock this. Get the observatory in. And this is a fine spot for the observatory. We've got the materials required for it. Well, not really. I thought we had the materials required for it. I just burned through all the planks somewhere. Where did all my planks go? What did I just burn them all on? This? That. Boo! Boo boo a boo a boo. Okay, well, that's fine. That's okay. I will survive with that, I suppose. I think we can go ahead and pull you out of there since you're full. I don't have a place for resin storage right now. And let's see. Get over here. They've already got that installed, so that's good to see. That's good. Means we'll have some water stored up back here. Could probably even start tossing in our, not levees, floodgates right here. Yes. Yes. Now, I just complained about being out of planks, and I'm going to burn planks to build this, but I want to be able to store a little bit of water back in here just so that we can push water in and then we can move some of our pumpage down here. Or at some point, flood this entire area down here. But that's for future me to figure out. And go ahead and unpause that one and unpause that one. We can get into that. That will provide us with copious amounts of lumber. That'll be quite beneficial for us. This is still in the process of being finalized. We'll let them work on that as time goes. This is all connected now, so now we've got nearly 1,000 units of power available to them. So that is good to see. Pine resin's already in. Planks are going to be the holdup, which is not fun. But they are being produced. We could do something like this right there and run the power. How do I want to run this power? Kind of want to do this. So we'll do that. That is forcing the water over, so that's good to see. This is already at 130 compared to the 90 here, so that's pretty Gucci. That's Gucci. You love to see that. And let's see here. Is it cheaper to build the vertical power shafts, or is it cheaper to put... See, that requires gears. Gears we don't have. Oh, we need gears and planks for all of the things. Boo! Boo on you. And your gears. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Don't want to put gears up here. That's just so obnoxious. This is where the power is. Do we have any other bad water source nearby that's pushing juice? This. That. That is an option. That's going to require a lot of lumber. But honestly, it's not that far in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, let's do some small industry up here. No. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I'm torn. I'm so torn. Because it's not going to be very beneficial for anything, because this is just going to stop doing anything sooner rather than later. Right? I'm curious to see if that would actually be smarter to put that on there with that right there. Oh no, that'll work. This is temporary down there anyway, so that's fine. Building lacks power. Yeah, I know. I'm Games. Get out of there and go do something productive with your life, please. Cool. Let's give this priority bump so that can get accomplished with the next pieces of planks that pump out. And let's go ahead and push that across there. And that is just waiting on gears as well. So we are waiting on planks, which in turn turns into waiting on gears, which could get gears moving. I could get planks moving as well, but I don't. I put them right here. It's just such a such a distance to get across there. And I could just run power across this side. That would be great. However, comma, I need gears and planks to get down and over to do that. So really not that helpful in the grand scheme of things there either. But we can start planning out where this is going to go, which is going to look something like that, and then something like this, and then something like that, We run across the top like such as... And we have a happiness of 10. I love to see that. You love to see it. And that is the end of our bad tide. Which means all the poo water is going to get forced out of there. That's going to clean up here shortly. And then we'll get all the spread forward. And the same thing on this side as well. That's already cleaned up. That's so much faster. Okay, that only took about half a day, so that is beautiful to see. We're going to run out of beavers again, which is not cool, but... Okay, why are we flooding? Okay, stop flooding. Thank you. We are out of beavers again. Let's go ahead and pause the building for now. Let's focus on hauling. Well, having the one hauler, I suppose. Do the one hauling job. We need to turn this back on because that's probably about empty. Yeah, let's get that in. This is in over here as well now, so this should stay irrigated for a bit longer. We could probably pull that guy out. That guy doesn't need to be in there right now, and let's see. We've got gears and planks going. You don't need to be in there because that is full now, and we can get you back to doing something productive with your life. I love to see that. Now this is waiting on 33 more planks and 30 more gears, which is slowly on its way. Now we could probably pause these two since we're not really doing much with the metal anyway. Let's get them out of there. Go save some of our beavers from potential pain and harm, which is always a good thing. And I would like this stuff to get finalized sooner rather than later, and that would be greatly appreciated. And let's go ahead and connect this up right there. Actually, we should probably run that around the backside and into this one so we can get that turned on and get our planks moving a little bit faster. We could probably even throw in a gear manufacturer there as well. So let's go gear workshop there, path in here, and they should be able to reach all of that. We'll rip that out so they don't actually do something ridiculous like get themselves stuck, which we don't want to see happen. And get all the required materials. Same for that one. They should be able to reach all that without any issue. 1 from up here, 2 from over here. So that would be good. How are we doing power-wise? Total still 1,000. So we should not exceed our demand. That is, of course, including these 200 here from the water wheels. So that is a little inflated. We are encroaching the end of day 3, so we should get our bad tide and or drought notification here shortly. And you guys are bored. And so are you. So you two are paused, and now we have a full repertoire of beavers. I'd love to see it. Go ahead and lower this priority-wise. And go ahead and turn these two on over here so we can actually speed up our water. Well, I didn't really need to lower those priority ones because we're not really actively building anything right now because reasons. That is 12 more gears. Let's get one of these guys in here. So Kissy Kitten, get in here. Let's go ahead and hit that priority button. We'll get the gears in. We want the water. That'll be quite a boon for our entire colony to have a little bit more water storage. And next we need to get in here and put in a gatherer flag right there. And we also need a storage for all of that. So that means we are going to put storage in right here and right here. That will be chestnuts, and then we want grilled chestnuts. And guess we can put a grill down here. Why not? not a bad place to put it. It's not the greatest place to put it, but it will work. Yeah, it'll do. It'll do. Path is no longer needed there. I don't know why it was there in the first place, so it's gone now. Probably get rid of these berries, but it's free food, so I'm not going to get rid of the berries. I like free food, and I think we can probably pull back the work time just a tad bit. We're making good progress, though. There's the bad tide, so we'll have plenty of power moving up here. That'll be quite beneficial. It probably... that's a slap in the face for the whole plan of getting up here and producing power with this. So we might take advantage of that sooner rather than later. I like the idea of having free power, especially when it's bad tide, and bad tide's great for free power. Free power is great, you know, more power. I think that's how that works. Anyway, let's see. Need an excessive amount of gears. Still need an excessive amount of planks. Gears are being slow. That is in, though, so that is good to see. And let's start thinking about how far we can expand our food or our actual beaver population right now. So we're at about 500-ish units of food per day for our beavers. No, for per 10-day cycle. So food we're doing decent on. Water we're not exactly there yet to expand too much. We could probably eke out... do we want to do double lodge or triple lodge? Is 9 too many beavers to plus up? That would put us at a total of 36 beavers. Doesn't sound too egregious. Requires 35 logs. Let's do one. One for now. Not enough science? What do you mean not enough science? What did I just burn my science on? Oh. Oh. My bad. Jade, get in there. Do science things for a little bit. Please. I'm out of science. Which is entirely on me. Yeah, planks. Everything requires planks. I'm going to pause this since it's just eating my planks right now. And this takes priority to get connected so we can connect this, and that would be quite nice. So we'll go ahead and plus that up over anything else that's going in right now. I think that should be fine. I do kind of want to take advantage of the chestnuts though, because that is a free bonus to our well-being. So go ahead and hit that button here and here. Get those built, which should not take that long. It's just logs, which we have a fair amount of. And that also means turning that guy on as well. Great. Beautiful. That's going to eat through the last bit of our hauling positions, which is kind of stinky. And there's the bad tide. And probably pause those two, which gives us 2 additional haulers back. These 4 will empty this out relatively quickly, and then we can have some more haulers doing hauling things. Still puts us at 2. This is not been touched yet. Oh yeah, it's because Kissy Kitten is the only builder right now. Yo, my bad. My bad, G. Pause those 2. That's not good because this is nowhere near being completed. We've got that in. I haven't touched this. We need 1 gear, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gears. That's enough gears. We have enough. Should have enough gears and planks to actually build all of that. Theoretically. The question is, okay, so they're already over here. They've already got that in. We've got Maverick in here already picking all of the chestnuts for us, which will be nice. We want you to be making grilled chestnuts. We have storage for chestnuts and grilled chestnuts in already. And I think what we could do is probably think about pausing you because you're dumping our water out unnecessarily. Think about unpausing you because I want to keep some of those available to us back in there. And definitely pausing you because you've already drained that. Great. Now we've got everything going except for those two hauling post positions. That's all in. That is good. There's a happiness bump because of our amazing chestnuts for all of our beavers. They're the happiest of all the beavers. All right, let's get this finalized, please, guys. Just the last little bit. You just gotta slap them. You gotta slap hands and whatnot and stuff. Don't get stuck. Okay, you shouldn't get stuck. Good, 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 good. Okay, cool. Cool story, bro. Hey, look, it's me. I'm gonna build some planks. Sweet. Probably even start thinking about tearing this out. I'm tempted to. I'm very tempted to. I'm quite tempted to. But we're on a mission. We're on a mission. And that mission is to get to the Word Workshop. It means science, which means finishing this or letting these guys work nonstop for the next 40 days. That's a 13-day bad tide, though, or 14-day bad tide. That's a little bit more than I anticipated. That's okay. We have more than enough food, more than enough water, and I think we still don't have enough for that. We have enough for the double lodge, though, which isn't bad. I'll hold off on it. Hold off for now. Okay, so now we have gears and planks moving. Go ahead and get some storage up here for these guys. Then we will do something like that. Why not? Let's go ahead and slam that in right there. We'll go logs, we'll go planks, and then we can probably put in another lumber mill. How much power are we producing right now? 700. We could do another lumber mill and another gear workshop. That's 120, right? 120 plus 50, that's 170, so that's basically 200. Yeah, we shouldn't have a problem doing that. Yeah. Not opposed to that. So let's go ahead and do that. One there, one there. And sooner rather than later, we should be able to start moving into paper production. And next thing that we could do, start thinking about turning this into our little lake, if you will. Which I like that idea very much so. Very, very much so. Just trying to think, how would we go about... Okay, that's a different thought. Different thought for future me to try to figure out. So, sweet. Cool. Now we have Yuki in here producing more planks for us, which is good. We'll go ahead and hit the obtain button on the logs. This can be the supply button. It's not really going anywhere right now anyway, but that's fine. How are we doing power-wise? We're still exceeding the demand in its entirety, so that is good to see, and I love to see it. We still have 10 days left in this bad tide. We are cruising, though, and I'm happy to see it. Now we can get up here, put in some more windmills, which I'm not opposed to doing. That would be quite helpful when push comes to shove. I do want to get batteries in over here at some point. That'll be quite helpful as well for when the wind does stop doing the wind things. As it's currently doing, it's like, I don't want to wind right now, which is kind of annoying. This got put in, so that's good. That means there's no bad water that gets stuck in that little corner right there. All of that is just getting thrown off the side. This is going great. I love to see it. Still don't have quite the population level that I would like to see, but we are getting there. And that is what matters. That is what matters. Let's pull this down to 2. I don't think I have them building anything currently that needs their direct attention. Oh, they are putting this in. That's fine. That's where all the planks are going. Logs are already in there. Okay, sweet. Sweet. Probably pull this down to 2. Then Maverick, you are bored because you've already pulled all of those out. Sweet. That means we should be full on grilled chestnuts. Darn near full. I love to see that. Food for all of my friends. I love it. I love it a lot. I think we can unpause this now. Maybe. 9 more gears. The rest are planks. And then I'll be able to finish that actually relatively quickly, as long as we tell these guys to stop burning through our gears. Or stop burning through our planks anyway. And great. This is amazing. This is going wonderfully well. Finally got the Bad Tide diverted officially. No longer will we be touched by the poo water. We have a very, I wouldn't say ingenious way of hunting the bad water off of us, but it is working, and it looks cool how it's working. And then we, of course, solve this problem over here. Want to get over here, we'll do some power or something over there, so that'll be quite helpful. Next is expanding our lumber production, since we have a lot more real estate that we can take advantage of that's not going to be covered in poo water, which is always helpful. Probably even get up here, put in some irrigation or contamination barriers along this side right here, put in another forester, and put in another levee system up here. Irrigate all of this. It's funny how it irrigates under itself, so you get bad water irrigation under here, which I guess kind of makes sense because it feeds through and it drips onto the ground. So I'll let that one be. Okay, sweet. I love it. This is in. Great. We are science fiends now. We have all of the science. It's such a pretty sound. I love hearing that. Oh, I'm reading it wrong. Okay, so power, we're at peak capacity. And now that means we can let science rage. There we go. I love to see it. That is amazing and fantastic. And now we have to wait a little bit to unlock our wood workshop. And then the next thing that we're going to do is unlock the large water pump. But we're not quite there yet. But we will be shortly, which is amazing. And I'm happy to see it. And I'm happy to say that we have made great strides in only a couple hours of gameplay. Sure, it feels like it took forever, but you know what? I'm gonna take the dub here, okay? You can come at me in the comments if you want. I'm taking the dub here. We got bad water moving out of the way. We got food. We got water. And next up is unlocking this bad Johnny here in the next 6 to 9 seconds. Okay? All right. And badoosh. And it's unlocked. I should probably run power back around here first before I unlock that, actually. There, you guys build that. I think they could have built that anyway. Yeah, from the stairs. So let's just go ahead and unlock that real quick. Like, yes. Skadoosh. And there you go. Now we just got to wait for science a little bit more to unlock the large water pump. But next time, we'll build this in, get our large water pumps out over here so we don't have to waste so many beavers pumping this out. And we'll have plenty of storage for water for prolonged periods of time, which will be quite useful, but that's going to require a lot of lumber, which means we might dip into this here, and we might even dip into some of this over here. And I want to get up here and do all that. But that's for next time. I've been yapping for way too long up to this point. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode, though. If you did, please hit that like button. If you have not already hit that subscribe button, I would appreciate that as well. We are encroaching on the mythical 1,000. Could you be the 1,000th subscriber? Maybe. You could be the one. You could. Well, if you hit it probably right this second, you're not going to be probably. Unless something magical happens in the next 6 to 9 hours after between now and me editing this and posting this or whatever. So, but you could be part of the original 1,000. Doesn't that make you cool? I'm feeling it. Anyway, I digress. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I am going to get out of here. I need to get prepared for my stream, and I need to hydrate. Don't forget to hydrate, guys. Have a wonderful day wherever you're in the world. Make sure you guys keep yourselves nice and hydrated, nice and thirsty as well. Keep your beers nice and hydrated, nice and thirsty as well. We'll catch you on the next episode of Timberborn Z. I'm out. See ya.